Welcome to the show. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace to people of good will. Glad to have you here. My name's Kevin Gregg. Got a lot of issues that I've dealt with in my life, but fortunately, I have Christ in my life for sure. I'm a faithful Catholic. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. Welcome to I'd Rather Be a Buffalo. This is a show and channel that is dedicated to getting you deeper into your relationship with God, getting through the storms of life with Christ's help, and also discerning what God's calling is for your life. And boy, there are a number of challenges that can happen along the way. And one of the things that we're talking about here today is hard work. And this is something I was literally just experiencing today. But what do you do when it feels like you've just got so much stuff that you're dealing with in your life and you go, I don't want to do this. I am so done with all of this stuff. Lord, please just take this away. I'm going to suggest to you that having it taken away isn't a good thing for you. As a matter of fact, having those difficult things presented to you, those challenges, that hard work that you have in your life is actually a hidden blessing that you've been given. But before we dive into that, there are a couple of ways that you can support the show here. Let me show you ways that you can do this. Number one, if you're not aware, I'll move this. Can I move this? Yeah, you can see this right now. I'd rather be a buffalo. If you go to I'd rather be a buffalo.com, that is based on the book that Doug Riggle and I wrote together. It's his memoir. Should have thought that out a little bit more before I set this thing up. But I'd Rather Be a Buffalo, which is a memoir that Doug Riggle wrote that I helped him with, which was the beginning of all the stuff that we do here. Go to I'd rather be a buffalo.com to purchase the book to help us out. Also, when I was creating I'd Rather Be a Buffalo with Doug, the way that I did this was using creative skills and techniques I've had from over the years, being a creative director, performer, writer, producer. And if you have creative skills or gifts that you feel that God's calling you to and He's asking you to put this stuff out in the world, why don't you pay a visit to Working Creatives? I will put a link in the description. I think there is a link in the description for this video. Check it out over that community. You can join hundreds of people that are getting their creative work done. My ultimate goal with this is to be doing creative work that points towards God's glory, though not specifically a Christian-based community. I use my Christian and Catholic ethos throughout the community as well. And a great place for you to be exploring the skills that God gave you. So sometimes we don't get to do the fun work. What do we do when that happens? I'll tell you why this has come up for me, because just recently, and I will share some of my own personal experiences. I was just talking earlier this week to a number of guys I share a online prayer devotional with, and we were talking about the what do you do when you're in those moments of doing things that you got to do but you don't want to do, whether it's chores of laundry or cleaning the kitchen or any of the paying taxes. I'm actually in the middle of doing a lot of this morning, and I was in the middle of doing a little bit more of this, which was a little bit more challenging. My tendency in the past, and I'm sure that you may have experienced this as well, my tendency in the past has always been to complain, moan, kvetch, as our Jewish brothers and sisters say, about having to do stuff. And I would usually find myself over the years, and you probably have had this too, you find yourself in a state of discontent, grumbling, just really going, this is the last thing I want to be doing. I need to be doing more important things in my life. Why am I stuck doing this? And that has been my my default over a number of years. I remember seeing things where I would be not only having done work, but then as you're raising boys, raising children, that it's just like that the house can fall apart pretty quickly, right? It's not something that stays nice and neat. Um, and then those moments, these are things that have to get done. And all of a sudden, I would find myself contributing and helping out my wife, Kate, with this stuff, but also being very much in a, why am I doing this? This is the last thing that I want to do. I just want somebody else to take care of this stuff. I need to be using my time better than this. Um, and it is one of those things where you have to go, hey, hold on a second, man. Slow your roll, right? Right? Where it's one of those things where you have to go, something's not right. And I would say that this is happening if you are finding yourself having to do those chores or those things which are necessary, right? Um, you have things that happen where, something gets spilled or a disaster happens. We've had it happen over the years with the dogs where all of a sudden you just have like a major accident that happens with one of the dogs just as you're heading out the door, and you suddenly realize like, well, I guess I got to take care of that, because if I don't take care of that, that's going to be an issue. Um, what I've started finding is, number one, if you are feeling that you're having kind of hateful, disgruntled things are coming up in your heart as you're taking care of that stuff, it's probably an indicator of going, hey, hold on, Lord, I please examine my heart, find out what's going on here, because the theory that I'm going to throw out here to you today is that work that you have been presented with is actually something that could really, really help you with learning, hey, this is something that is necessary to do and it has to get done, and I can do it with a different posturing of my heart. Instead of it being so self-centered and just focus on the, why is this happening to me, or this isn't fair, or um, somebody needs to be doing this for me instead of me doing this. Perhaps it is a opportunity to be able to slow down and go, Lord, I am going to do this as an act of love. I'm going to do this as an act of love for my family, or I'm going to do this as an act of love for the stranger that happened to leave the stuff that's out here like a mess out in front of my house and then walked on. I'm going to pray for their well-being, or also pray for the well-being of my community. And I'm going to clean up or pick up some of this stuff or whatever, and just do it neutrally in love. And another Catholic concept, which I think is very, very huge, is there a way that I can offer up any of this pain, discomfort, grumbling that I might have myself? Is there a way that I can offer this up for the pain and suffering of other people that may be going through this, may be going through much more difficult situations in their life? And I truly do feel, for me personally, this is sort of a light bulb, light switch moment that clicked on for me, I'd say maybe just within the last few years. Because I really started seeing like the feelings I would have of discontent or grumbling or frustration or grumbling. It may have its point. There may be people that are in your life. For example, if you happen to be raising teenagers and you need to be training, or younger children, but you need to be training the children in order to go, hey, you need to be cleaning a room or making your bed or any of that other stuff. There is a process of that, of like going, hey, you can't let the kids off the hook. You have to be training this so they know how to do that. And that can be frustrating at times. But the thing sort of kicking in for me was to go, these feelings of discontent that I have, it's not good. As a matter of fact, it's flirting with the demonic, because of the churning up that it's causing in my heart, which is causing me to get angry, or some versions of vengeance or wrath or whatever that is, right? And it's not a godly position. And you can feel it in your head and your heart when you're doing this. But the other thing that's really kicked in for me personally, which maybe you've had this too, I have an adult son with autism. His name's Duncan. He's 27 years old. And there are many, many issues that happen with Duncan. He has some versions of communication, but it is limited. He has some versions of being able to care for himself, but it is limited. And this includes things of having to take care of bathroom issues with him, bathing issues with him, getting him to bed at night, daily routines, getting him ready as he's going out for the day, as he's working with his caregivers that bring him out to certain things. And Duncan's got an active life, but there's a certain amount of one-on-one care that has to happen with him and supervision. And I would say when I was younger for myself, it would just feel like, oh, this is so much. And I'm sure that there are people out there that are caregivers for other people, whether it's an elderly parent or somebody else that's in your family. And it can feel it can feel crushing. And yet there's the opportunity to be able to be neutral in the moment and to go, all right, Lord, you have presented me the gift of being able to do this. Several of the things that we're called to by the church. The church calls us to, specifically in the Catholic Church, acts of mercy include caring for the orphans and the widows or the sick, right? Like reaching out to those people. I experienced this last year and coming up on a year since my father died. This time last year, myself and my sisters, along with my wife and my son, we were caring for my father as he was in his last stages before death. And that includes, taking care of bathroom issues and feeding and all that other stuff that happens with him. And it is a moment of being neutral in the moment and going, Lord, thank you for this opportunity that I can care for this man that cared for me when I was a child, and now it's my opportunity to help care for him as well. But there are so many people that are out there that need that intervention. And I would challenge you to this, the people that are watching this right now. If you're in a situation where it feels like it is very overbearing, crushing, and that could be as simple as like going, I don't want to be taking out the trash, or I don't want to be doing these dishes today, or whatever. It is putting that at God's feet and saying, Father, any of my desires or wills or the thing that I would like to see happen in this situation and the things I can't control, I'm laying at your feet right now. Any of these feelings I have for my desires, the things that I want to have happen for me, I'm putting that at your feet and I'm offering this up to you as a prayer. Help me become as neutral as possible with this and try to give me some insight in terms of what you would have me do during this work, right? Is there something that I could be thinking of for others, or how to serve others, or how to help them? Help me discern that with you and help soften my heart, and maybe help make this, help me examine why I am feeling this frustration or what's going on. And if possible, if it means that you're calling me to ask for help or discern for asking for help, then great. Show me what that path is, how I can do that. I would say that that's about the best counsel that I would give based on the stuff that I have gone through. For me, this holy work that I describe, because that's really what it is. When we are doing this stuff, when we are doing the things that we don't want to do, but we are doing it with the intention of going, Lord, I'm offering this to you. I'm offering this as a sign of love for people that I know and people that I don't know. Help make this uncomfortable, frustrating situation. Please help make this a holy opportunity for me. That would be my recommendation for you. Are you dealing with this yourself? If so, let me know what's going on with you. How do you process through it? Yeah, I would love to see your comments if you have them in the video below. And peace for you, right? We have to continually invite God into this process and just ask him for his grace, his mercy, all of that. So thank you for watching the show. Please, if this is your first time here, welcome. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm putting this on. And come on back. We'll keep getting through this together. This one specifically was about growing deeper in God's relationship, in your relationship with God. And It's a pretty big thing. So thank you guys for being on the show. God bless you, onwards and upwards, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.